Well, hi everyone, Sean Humphreys here. Welcome to All Things Retirement. In this installment, I'm going to just talk about an article I came across on Forbes magazine's website. And the article was written by Meredith Moore, but it had a really intriguing title, The No Retirement Retirement, an Alternative to the Normal Path. So embedded in this article, I think, is a really important lesson or a philosophical position on how we define retirement. So I think you'll enjoy this video. Now, if you're new to our channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and alert bell so you're notified on future content. We've been providing guidance to Canadians for over 30 years on quite literally all aspects of the retirement transition. So if you don't want to miss future content, make sure you subscribe. Now, it's really important when we talk about retirement that we really define retirement on our terms. Unfortunately, we're really influenced by a lot of different factors that surround us around how we define retirement. And so I'll talk about those factors in a minute. But let me just read to you from Meredith's article sort of something we take for granted, and that's the narrative of life. Now, she's being very stark in terms of how she outlines the different stages of life, but she's trying to make a point here. So, Act 1, be a kid, learn everything you can. Act 2, graduate and go to college. Act 3, build your career, work on saving money, pay off debt. Act 4, stop working, sit on the porch sipping lemonade and doing nothing. Act 5, die. Yay, we've gone through our various stages of life. Now again, she's being stark and a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but all of us have to admit that we're influenced by different aspects of that narrative. It was a very strong narrative if you go back to the 1970s, and this is something that continues to shape the retirement discussion today. Back in the 70s, you had much larger union organizations, you had large crown corporations, large governments, large corporations, many of which provided gold standard, gold-plated pension plans, defined benefit pension plans. So a much higher percentage of the population was covered by those plans, and there were the baby boomers were beginning to hit their stride in terms of employment, and there were far more people sort of working in the system than there were drawing money as entitlements or benefits from the system. Now, you fast forward to today, and we have a completely different situation. So, the leading age of the baby boom has been retired for a while. The youngest part of the baby boom today is 60, so they're sort of transitioning into that direction. And other aspects have been the fact that careers are a lot different today. So people don't work for 35, 40 years for the same company. Benefits are fragmented. A lot of organizations have taken away defined benefit pension programs. And we've got an aging demographic. So on top of the fact that benefits have been pulled back, almost every sector you can think of has been impacted. You also have this aging demographic that is putting more pressure on pension system and on the healthcare system, which will make it more difficult for governments to pay out entitlements. So entitlements or government benefits will likely be put under pressure and maybe will go down over time. Now, when you take into account all those factors, that's part of why Meredith is arguing for the no retirement retirement, is to be clear-minded about those factors. It doesn't mean that people shouldn't plan for retirement, they shouldn't be saving money, they shouldn't have an organized plan. That's our wheelhouse, that's what we do as a practice. But she argues for the fact, unless there's a health issue, or you just, from a mental health standpoint, can't work anymore, then you should try to stay actively engaged in your career or your profession or work as long as possible. Not just for the financial benefits of coping with some of those headwinds I just talked about, but also for your overall health. Now, I'm going through a bit of a book review right now for this channel, and it's a book by Daniel Levitin called Successful Aging. And I haven't hit this particular part of the book yet, but he argues through tons of research on just how valuable it is for older individuals to keep fully engaged in their work for as long as they can. There's clear evidence that from a social relational standpoint, from a sense of purpose and meaning, from a standpoint of making a difference, connecting with other people, and just the financial benefits of providing a bit of a buffer to deal with contingencies. There's a whole bunch of reasons why working for longer can make sense. Now again, that may not be an option for all people. So you could have some people who are self-employed or have a lot of control over their careers, and they can do that for a long period of time. For others of you, you're not in that situation. You don't have as much flexibility. So for you, it's how do I craft my career, my expertise, so that as I transition from my current work, I can transition to other work over time. And so that takes a bit of a plan and working on that plan well before you retire, ideally. Anyway, that's food for thought for you. It's the whole title of this article which really intrigued me, the No Retirement Retirement, an alternative to the normal path. And embedded in this article is don't allow the culture, institutions, other people define what retirement's going to look like for you. And our industry has been guilty of that as well. We define retirement often in a certain way. And so you want to define retirement the way it makes sense for you and your specific circumstances. Anyway, I hope that's a little bit thought-provoking for you. And if you want more information resources, make sure you take a look at the links with this video. There's a link to our retirement planning resource page. You can learn more about our services there. There's also a link generally to our website or also our contact form. So if you want to reach out to us to get more information or talk to us about our retirement coaching service, obviously we'd more than welcome that conversation. Anyway, I'm wishing you all the best in your retirement journey. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the alert bell so you don't miss our future content. You take care. Bye-bye.